Hello and welcome to this special edition of Encore, coming to you from Avignon's annual theatre festival. It's the 73rd year of dance, drama and debates here in Avignon, where the inn, or the official selection, takes in everything from 20th century politics to the high-stake gambling at the heart of global finance and contemporary takes on beloved fairy tales. And for those starting out in the business, there's the off, or the fringe, and with some 1,600 shows this year, that's launched plenty of careers in the past. Well, my guest today is no newcomer to the stage. Akram Khan has performed in and choreographed some of the most acclaimed contemporary dance of recent years, and his latest piece, Outwitting the Devil, is being performed in the beautiful courtyard of the Palais des Papes here in Avignon. Akram, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Starting with the title of this latest show, Outwitting the Devil, in these secular or multi-faith times, who or what is the devil for you?
For me, the devil, I would say, originally it was time, because I'm just getting older. So I'm kind of semi-retired from dancing, so I felt time was the devil. But I've been very concerned, as so many people are, but particularly the collaborators are, about our relationship to nature and climate change. And so as we were exploring that theme, we realized that mankind is the devil, really, and nature has to outwit man. You know, nature is taking its revenge on us, and will take its revenge on us.
Well, let's get a better idea of that show with this clip, and we can hear also what the audience had to say about it.
C'était un spectacle avec des émotions. C'était vraiment fantastique.
Ça m'a touchée, c'est une merveille.
On ne sait plus ce qu'on a vu, si c'est des dieux, des animaux, des hommes.
Des moments de grâce assez étranges, des moments un peu d'ennui aussi.
Moi, j'ai adoré les pieds flex d'un merveilleux danseur extraordinaire qui fait le diable.
Beau spectacle. C'était juste... Ouh là là. Merci.
Now, your dancers come from all sorts of different backgrounds, they're different ages. It's the polar opposite of this uniform idea of the corps de ballet style of dancing. Why are those individual profiles so important to the pieces that you create?
I suppose because I've always been a kind of an outsider, really. I've always been the absolutely opposite of the ideal dancer. I'm short, I'm not that flexible, and also I'm brown, you know, so I grew up in a pretty white environment. And so in a sense, I've always been fascinated by individuals, but who have an empathy towards other individuals. So the things that connect a community of individuals is the desire to learn from the other. So I pick very specifically. It's not just the skill set of them being technically very strong dancers, it's whether they have the gift or the skill to listen, because we are a generation of speaking first before listening. You know, my parents were the generation of listening before speaking.
And you're not performing in this piece yourself. I think people here in Avignon were very disappointed not to see you on stage. You've said you're turning the page on that chapter of your career. How do you feel about this new chapter?
It's hard to say right now. I've danced all my life, so it hasn't hit me yet. It's just words at the moment, and I've made a conscious decision and I've made a public decision, but it hasn't hit me yet. I'm sure in a few years I will be grieving.
Well, here in Avignon, it might be all about contemporary dance and drama, but one very historical story has come up in a number of productions, and that's the Odyssey, the epic journeys that have come to define the human experience. Renaud Lefort takes a look.
At this year's Avignon Arts Festival, there's lots to look at, but also plenty of food for thought. Directors from around the world are all interpreting the theme of Homer's The Odyssey. No, not that Homer from The Simpsons, the Greek poet. Mixing mediums, director Christian Jatti uses theatre and film to tell the stories of contemporary exiles from Greece to Lebanon and South Africa.
My work is at the frontier between reality and fiction. I think that we're all Ulysses. It's important to realize that we don't know anything about our future and that we need to look at our past and think about our future together.
I always think about that something. Maybe it's coming to me at night. The only thing I do is to think...
Bringing people together is also Blondine Savetier's aim. Festival goers can gather in this garden every day to watch episodes she's directed from the Odyssey, performed by a group of young, diverse actors.
Conte-moi l'aventure de l'inventif, celui qui pilla Troie, qui pendant des années erra.
It's a very rich subject because the Odyssey takes place in the Mediterranean along the coast of North Africa and the Middle East, so we're going back to the source material. And as we're talking about the other, I think that it's important to use all these languages and all these cultures because that tells the story of the Odyssey of our time.
Ça nous met dans l'ambiance un peu de l'Antiquité grecque.
On raconte toute l'Odyssée en 1h25. Ulysse, absolument. C'est vrai?
From interactive theatre to a solo performer, without any scenery or costumes, each night Camille Priol plays more than 30 characters, revisiting the words of the poet with his own interpretation.
Transformé en aigle pour séduire sa femme. Mais calme-toi, papa. Enfin, c'est comme ça depuis l'aube des temps. Pourquoi voudrais-tu que ça change?
The tone is generally lighter. I've tried to emphasize the inconsistencies in the story of the Odyssey, the different interpretations we can have of this myth. The story is over 2,700 years old. Zeus, for example, is the head of the gods, so I've made him a bit like the boss of a business who's grumpy, who has a hoarse voice, very intimidating and impressive.
Stories of migration are in the news daily. The Avignon Festival shows us that Homer's epic is more relevant than ever.
And Akram, being an artist today can feel a little bit like an endless journey with tours and residencies, this constant movement. How do you feel about that part of the career?
That's the part I don't enjoy so much. I love meeting people. I love meeting artists. We are entering a phase where we are connected to other people through technology, but the act of the physical ritual of coming together collectively to smell, taste, see, hear, and feel an experience happening, unfold in front of you collectively is for me right now, is probably the only thing that feels real to me.
Now, I wanted to talk about a cultural and geographical journey that your family undertook when they moved from Bangladesh to the UK. And you've touched on that experience using the very best language at your disposal, which is dance, with the creation of the Curry House Kid. Well, let's take a look at a clip of you creating that project.
My name is Akram Khan. I am a dancer and choreographer. But I grew up above a curry house in London. In this film, I'm going to create a dance that tells the epic story of my people. My people came from Bangladesh, left home, came here, gave curry to the British people.
Now, that's a really personal story where you talk about some of the very serious struggles your family faced as immigrants. How do you see the climate now in terms of the visibility of minority communities?
Well, there is a lot of visibility, but in the wrong way. Misconstrued, used for the right-wing political gain. I have small children, and I'm very, very concerned. What environment are we leaving our children? I mean, they've got to deal with all the complications of the politics, which is horrific right now. We've gone like 100 years back again. I thought we were moving forward. I'm sure all of us did. In terms of nature, what environment are they going to be living?
And you've said before that there's a certain stigma attached to contemporary dance and that you want people who'd rather be watching football to watch your pieces. Do you think things have improved? Are we making progress on that?
I think in some aspects, yes. Definitely in some areas. And some choreographers are incredible, the way they embrace other people that are not necessarily professional artists. So in a sense of involving community, and also in terms of not just involving people, but being able to relate to them. I remember when I first came into contemporary dance, there was this exclusive club, that this is high art. And actually it's rubbish, really. It's not high art. It's from the perspective of the viewer, what art is. For example, if there's an artist like Beyonce and she reaches millions of people, it doesn't mean what she does is bad or any less than than what high art is. She's hugely skillful.
And finally, we asked you to point us in the direction of a particular festival highlight here in Avignon, and you named Kirill Serebrennikov for his piece, Outside.
Yeah.
What was it about that captured your imagination?
Well, I'm a big fan of Russian writing, Russian authors. I think, first of all, I've seen some of his interviews. I find his mind extremely interesting. I don't know, it's just the subject matter, his approach to the political situation. He's unafraid to talk about the things that he's afraid of. So I think he's very courageous. I hope I get to meet him, yeah.
Akram Khan, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
We'll leave you with a clip of Outside, and the Avignon Theatre Festival runs until July 23rd. Remember, you can get more arts and culture on our website, and do keep up with Encore on social media too. There's more news coming up on France 24 just after this.
Привет. Привет. Такое ощущение, как